Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to commencement exercises for the Hampton Bays High School class of 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rich Berglund, and while I normally teach at the Hampton Bays Elementary School, today I will graciously act as your guide and narrator for the procession that will soon enter the tent, thus marking the beginning of today's events. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, please note that the aisleways must remain clear as a safe passageway in the unlikely event of an emergency. Please take notice of our Director of School.
Did the power go out again?
We are back. Please take notice of our Director of School Safety, Mr. John Moran, and his school safety team. Who are with us today acting as marshals. We appreciate your cooperation with any special requests they make to ensure your safety and comfort during today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, for your comfort and convenience, professional photographers from Life Touch Studios are with us today. All graduates will receive a photo of him or her receiving their diploma in the mail. Parents and loved ones, we ask that you please not crowd the aisles to get that special shot. This will help keep our aisles safe and will prevent blocking the view of our other esteemed guests today.
Keep tripping. I'm gonna take this out.
Additionally, we welcome Southampton Town Television, who is filming today's commencement exercises. This summer, you can relive today's ceremony on Channel 22, with copies being made available to any and all interested graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the hours of 11 o'clock, please note that the processional is beginning to assemble at the entrance to the high school.
I meant there. It's tripped again. It's not electric. It's not electric. Keep going to protect.
They will soon be greeted by the Hand Aldridge Post, number 924 of the American Legion Color Guard.
Something's shorting out. It's not shorting, it's power strip. No, that's on. Yeah, we're not getting enough views.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud and honored to welcome the Hand Aldridge Post, number 924 Color Guard.
What the heck? You ready? Yeah.
Ready? Hi! Order. Huh!
Ladies and gentlemen, leading today's processional will be the graduation candidates of the Hampton Bays High School. With the girls forming on your right and the boys on your left, they will march to the entrance of the tent, and then turn to the center line, thus acting as an honor guard for our distinguished guests. Leading the class of 2013 and carrying the school mace is Seth Gonin, Senior Class President. Leading the graduates on your left is Harry Fotopoulos, the valedictorian of the class of 2013. Leading the graduates on your right is Jesse Dabrowski, the salutatorian of the class of 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to the entrance of the tent and introduce you to Lars Clemenson, Superintendent of Schools, and Christopher Richard, High School Principal and Master of Ceremonies. The Honorable Tim Bishop, United States Congressman and today's commencement speaker. Doug Oakland, President of the Board of Education, and Chris Garvey, Vice President of the Board of Education. Fellow Board of Education members Warren Booth, Doc Capiano, and Rich Joslin. Our district administrators, Denise Sullivan, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, and Larry Luce, School Business Administrator. Mark Pagano, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, and Drew Walker, Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics. Representing our elementary school, Mark Meyer, Principal, and Richard Triandafils, Assistant Principal. Also, our esteemed elementary school. Also, our esteemed elementary school faculty. Representing our middle school, Dennis Shug, Principal, and Michael Carlson, Assistant Principal. Also, our prestigious middle school. Also, our prestigious middle school faculty. Representing our high school, Anthony de Blasio, Assistant Principal, and Rich Iannelli, Alternative School Director. Also, our honorable high school faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, to the familiar refrain of Pomp and Circumstance, performed by our Hampton Bays High School and Alumni Symphonic Band, it is my pleasure to present to you the Hampton Bays High School Class of 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce to you the esteemed principal of the Hampton Bays High School, Mr. Chris Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Bergman. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Richard, and it is my honor to serve as the principal of Hampton Bays High School. On behalf of the Board of Education, administration, faculty, staff, our guests, and of course the class of 2013, I welcome you to the commencement exercises at the Hampton Bays Union Free School District. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue with the formal program, I must take care of a few housekeeping chores. Exits to the tent are marked at points of exit on the side and the rear of the tent. Refreshments, especially water, are available at the PTSA tent located adjacent to the high school. Restrooms are also available in the high school. By New York State law, there is no smoking permitted anywhere on school grounds. We also ask that photographers refrain from blocking the view of others. Aisleways must be kept clear for the comfort and safety of our guests. Please silence all electronic communication devices at this time. And as Mr. Berglund announced, we are proud to have with us professional photographers today and a film crew from Southampton Town Public Television. Photos and video will be available for all graduates during the summer. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise as Colleen Lorenz, the third-ranking member of the class of 2013, leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And please remain standing as members of the high school and alumni band lead us in the national anthem.
Reset. Hawk.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Colleen, and thank you to our band. At this time, I would like to ask the color guard to remain as we welcome select members of the chorus of the class of 2013 to perform America the Beautiful. Students performing for us today are Jennifer Linares, Jackie McGowan, Dory Primavera, Tatiana Sensishin, Lauren Wanklowski, Dennis Sullivan, Claudia Maslowska, Sam Peralta, Marissa Schultz, Chester Shepard, Fred Nidecker, and Brandon White.
Reset. Hawk.
Thank you, students, for that fantastic performance, and thank you to the American Legion Hand Alders Post number 924, Color Guard. Please retire the colors.
Right. Head shoulder. Ha! Forward. Mark.
I ask that you now please turn your attention to those seated behind me. Our distinguished guest and commencement speaker, the Honorable Tim Bishop, United States Congressman representing the 1st District of New York. Our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Lars Clemenson. Members of the Board of Education, Board President Doug Oakland. Vice President Chris Garvey. And trustees Warren Booth, Dot Capuano, and Rich Joslin. Members of the school district's administration, Mark Pagano, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services. Denise Sullivan, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Larry Luce, School Business Administrator. Director of Athletics, Drew Walker. Assistant High School Principal, Anthony de Blasio. Director of the Alternative High School, Rich Einelli. Middle School Principal, Dennis Shug. Middle School Assistant Principal, Michael Carlson. Elementary School Principal, Mark Meyer. Elementary School Assistant Principal, Mr. Richard Trandafils. Seated on the risers behind me are members of the faculty from our 3 schools. In most cases, these teachers have influenced the learning lives of our graduates since kindergarten, and we are appreciative of their presence here today. I ask that these faculty members please stand as their names are called and remain standing until all have been recognized. Please hold your applause until the end. From the elementary school, Denise DeRosa, Katie Palmieri, June Eaton, Rosemary King, and Barbara Ferrucci. From Hampton Bays Middle School, Kathleen Callahan, Deanna Devon, Jessica Mills, Jennifer Farrell, Jennifer DiStefano, John Pega, Amy Spinelli, Val Stipe, Adrian Postiglione, Kevin O'Toole, Kathy Dayton, Rich Doulos, Severio Niclario, Tony Daciano, Joan Crowley, Jean Poland, Mark Stuckey, Teresa Strano, Marianne Pendlebury, and L'Oreal Halloran. From the high school, Rich Einelli, Ed Bauman, Tara Dietz, Sam Flasky, Caitlin Maresca, Samantha Spaler, Robin Sweeney, Charlie Isgrove, Stella Dracos, Fran Arado, Lori Ackerson, Joseph Berger, Michelle Edwards, Ralph Hubbard, Jackie Rozzi, Kyle Valentine, Babette Paul, Christina Fassini, and Joe Bross. And let's not forget our class advisors, Jennifer Halsey, Regina Teal, also seated with the graduates today are our school counselors, Tom Little and Jonathan Nelson. These faculty members have guided these students to this point in time as high school graduates. Please again join me with the class of 2013 in another well-deserved round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce Seth Donnan, the president of the class of 2013.
Good morning, parents, family, and friends. I'd first like to appreciate some people who are here today. The faculty and staff that are here, thank you for coming and supporting your soon-to-be former students. Board of Education members, thank you for working hard to create and support programs that make Hampton Bays such a great place for its students. Our assistant principal, Mr. de Blasio, thank you for being so good to our students and making so many good manifests. Mr. Clementson, Hampton Bays Superintendent, our former principal and an all-around great guy. Thank you for being here today and making some tough decisions this year, such as should today be a snow day or a 2-hour day. Lastly, our principal, our pain in the neck, our mentor, Mr. Rashad. Although you can be a tough negotiator, you also know what's best for us and make sure we live our lives to the fullest. Finally, I can actually start my speech. It's been a long 18 years, hasn't it, parents? A long time of watching your children grow up into the young adults that sit here today. Everybody thanks their parents for instilling greatness into their children, but not me. I want to thank parents for dealing with our all-nighters, our complaining of what's for dinner, and even arguing over the silliest things, like cleaning your room, or why did you try to take that from the library? Oh, wait, that's just me, sorry. I would like to remind everyone that one day we are going to be just like our parents, sitting here today, proud of our children graduating from high school. So thank you, parents, for supporting us and putting up with all of our nonsense over the years. Now I'd like to take the time to thank the faculty and staff that also have put up with us for the last 4 years. You have seen us grow from the immature freshmen we were to the inappropriate seniors we are today. These wonderful people have to deal with kids missing homework, skipping class, fights, and worst of all, PDA, aka public display of affection. But no one ever thanks them for who we are today. Without them, I doubt I would even know what photosynthesis is or how to solve for X. Hell, I bet we still don't. But you get the point. Thank you, teachers, for doing your job and teaching us what we need to know. To the class of 2013, we've done it. We have been through so much in 13 years. We have been through bomb threats on Pajama Day in the snow. We went to Frost Valley, Washington, D.C., Fire Island, Six Flags, and Florida. We had to put up with taking foreign language regions that New York State doesn't even offer anymore. But I'm glad that I got to do all these things with you guys as your class president. Although we might not be the best organizers, planners, or good at following through with plans that we've made, like our senior skip days, yes, I said days, our failed senior prank. Speaking of which, I would now like to apologize to our librarian, Mrs. Wilson. I'm sorry for the attempted kidnapping of your night. Although I believe it still would have looked good on the roof of the school, I hope you didn't get any night terrors from our rearrangement of your night. Get it? Night terrors? Seriously, thank you, Mrs. Wilson, for preparing us for so many nights of college research in our future. Even though we've been through all that, thank you guys, and you've been the best class that anyone could ask for. I'm glad to be your class president. Oops, I almost forgot. Class reunion will be September 15th, not Christmas. September 15th, 2023. Just thought I'd throw a date out there, so it looks like I'm using my executive responsibilities as class president, but even though we know that Colleen Casella is going to be playing 99% of it. But anyway, everyone enjoy the next couple of months with your friends and family, because soon enough, you will be up all night studying for midterms. Love you guys, and have a great rest of the time sitting in your chairs.
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate you taking it easy on me there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce to you the Hampton-Bays High School Salutatorian, Jesse Dabrowski. Jesse is graduating today with a grade point average of 103.8, and he'll be attending Virginia Tech this fall, majoring in aerospace engineering.
Good morning, faculty, family, friends, students, and anyone I promised a shout out to. Well, class of 2013, congratulations on completing the easiest part of your life. You made it into that elite category only 90% of all Americans achieve in their life. The honor of calling yourself a high school graduate. Seriously though, whether you're going to attend college, enlist in the military, or even apply to a full-time job, one thing you can all count on is going to be much harder than the last 4 years. It will also be exciting, challenging, scary, and filled with responsibilities we have not yet experienced. Hopefully, it will all lead to a fulfilling life, a life where we can continue to carry on those cherished values of our slogan, Lucky 13. Values instilled into us from different persons and places. I would have never been able to write this speech if it wasn't for the values and skills I gained through all my honors classes. And, like any good honors student, I procrastinated and ended up writing this speech last night. Or even from teachers like Mr. Arado, who never showed mercy to any of his players or students. Not even in a game of badminton in gym class. Excuse me, physical education. Or even from other students, like myself, who showed you through hard work, determination, and years of great grades and rigorous AP courses that you too can finish second in your class. On a more serious note, I think our school deserves more credit than it's giving. There's been many improvements to our schools over the years, whether it's been the addition of more AP classes, a college planning course, creating new athletic facilities a year after we graduate, and of course, building a beautiful new middle school. Our district has provided us plenty to ensure we are well equipped for the future. But a school is only as good as the teachers who teach in it. I cannot say there has been one teacher who has significantly changed my life, but I'd like to mention a few that have helped me learn and grow over the years. To Mrs. Paremba, my third grade teacher who decided to challenge me through writing assignments and PowerPoint presentations. Now, of course, as a child, I did not enjoy this. But through the years, I've noticed how much it's helped me write essays for scholarships in college. And for that, I thank you. To Mr. Stipe, who I believe is retiring this year. A quirky guy with a unique way of teaching. One that was fun and interesting and had a class I look forward to. He encouraged me to do exactly what I'm doing now, speak in front of a crowd. And for that, I thank you. To Mr. Graves, who no longer teaches here, and Mr. Bauman, two teachers always ready to talk and joke around with. Teachers who talk to me and not at me, and for that, I thank you. To Mr. Ballesteri, a teacher I never had, but through robotics with Mr. Bauman, helped me realize I was on the right path to becoming an engineer, and for that, I thank you. To Mrs. Miedema and Miss Barrett, two excellent teachers, examples of the type of teachers public schools need more of. Their enthusiasm for the subjects they teach always kept you engaged and ready to learn. And for this, I thank them. To Mr. Little, my first guidance counselor and now my college planner. You are a wealth of information, and guidance is exactly what you have provided me. I appreciate your knowledge and will apply what I have learned, and for that, I thank you. To Mr. Richard, yes, Mr. Richard. Although I don't agree with all your rules, you've done a fine job getting this school on the map and showing how much you care about our future. And we need to give him props for getting that dunk tank. I think the entire class and all the faculty lined up for a shot, and for that, I thank you. To Mr. Clemenson, as principal of the middle school, you've always held me to high expectations, but treated me as an adult and a friend. You were always fair, honest, and showed genuine commitment towards the students and the community as principal and superintendent, and for that, I thank you. And, of course, thank you to Miss Thaler for teaching me to never stop trying, no matter how unreachable my goal may be. But I cannot forget the two people who have influenced my life the most, who have guided me in the last 18 years, my parents. They have given me support, encouragement, and praise, along with discipline and sometimes disapproval. Like when I read the rough draft of this speech to my mom, who said it was as interesting as those license agreements Apple always sends us. They were not quick to fix problems. I'm a little nervous. But they let me work it out for myself. I have good parents. I appreciate you. I wouldn't be standing on this podium without your love and support. And of course, thank you for paying for college. Hampton Bays. I love it here. Of course, I never lived anywhere else, but how fortunate are we to be so close to the ocean and the bays and live in such a beautiful area. I know the first thing I will do when I come home is go down to the ocean and check out the waves. I don't think I will end up living here, but it is my hometown and I will always visit. Hampton Bays may not get the attention the other surrounding towns get, mainly because we don't have multi-million-dollar mansions filled with the rich and famous, but I'm glad we don't need them. As for our community, we have a good one. I've seen many fundraisers over the years for people always in need, and they are always filled with our neighbors wanting to help. And if you want to join something, well, just join. Join the ambulance corps and become an EMT like myself, something I will always be a part of and come back to. Same goes for the fire department and various other organizations. Our schools, teachers, family, and community have guided us to this point. From here on, all decisions and responsibilities will be handled by you and only you. Your professor won't give you a second chance on to redo a failed assignment, and your parents won't be there to hold your hand during your first job interview. You have no special advantages, no freebies, no do-overs, nor second chances. You are all just a drop of water in the ocean of life. But it gets better. And the only way to stand out and rise above is to take all these qualities of hard work and determination our school, our teachers, and our family have equipped us with and apply them to everything you do in life. By doing so, we should all have the chance to succeed at everything we do. So, class of 2013, I wish you the best of luck in the second part of your life. Follow your dreams, just not the stupid ones. And once again, congratulations.
In recognition of your outstanding academic achievements, this trophy. I'm really hoping for a third speech where I won't get made fun of. I'm just checking Harry's right now. It doesn't look good for me. It is now my distinct pleasure to present the valedictorian of the Hampton-based class of 2013, Harry Fotopoulos. Harry is graduating with a grade point average of 104.1 and will be attending Boston University this fall to study business administration.
A couple of things that might have been forgotten. I want to recognize two faculty members that were not named here today. First, a special shout out to my coach, Mr. Mead, back in the right corner over there. And I know it's for sure, but I think we forgot one very important faculty member, my father, Mr. Fotopoulos. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Sharp, Mr. Clemenson, the Board of Education, and the rest of the administrators, faculty, and staff that stand here behind me, as well as all the parents here today. None of this is possible without the guidance and support you've given us over the years. When I found out back in February that I was going to have to give this speech, I thought, wow, I'm so excited. I'll make this perfect. I'm going to start right away. Then all of a sudden, it was spring break, and then it was APs, and then Memorial Day, and next thing I know, it was June 10th, and I'm just sitting there, wow, I probably should have started that a while ago. My first question was how? How do you wrap up 4 years into just a few minutes? You simply can't. There's no way I could touch on all the smiles, all the laughs, and all the memories that we've all shared in this building. I knew this was going to be the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and just 2 weeks ago I handed in a 10-page thesis paper on a book that I never even read. As I started to write, I kept running into roadblocks. What exactly do you put into a graduation speech? Should it be funny, inspirational, long, short? Should I make fun of our principal like everyone else, or should I not make fun of our principal? I had no idea. So I thought just like any other high school student would. What do you do when you have no ideas about something? I went to the library and used the Big Six skills in the VRC, of course. Thank you, Miss Wilson. Just kidding, I went to the internet like every other teenager. Teachers can say what they want about Google, Wikipedia, and SparkNotes, but it's right about 80% of the time, and that's good enough for me. After countless hours of searching, all I accomplished was a few hours on Netflix watching some good old graduation movies. I was stuck. I couldn't think of anything that could make my speech stand out, make it unique. But then it hit me. The answer was, and currently is, right in front of me. It's us. It's the class of 2013. When it comes to unique, nothing else could be a better example. Let's see. We're the only class to win homecoming all 4 years, which would not have happened without our lovely advisors, Mr. Colligan and Mr. We're the only seniors who nearly lost class night to the sophomores. The only seniors to have 2 sort of skip days. And we're definitely the only senior class to have their senior trip be shorter than the bus ride took them to get to where they were going. Let's not forget all the firsts and lasts of Hampton Bays that our class has been lucky enough to be a part of. We were the last class to graduate from elementary school as 6th graders. We were the last 7th graders to ever walk the halls of the high school, which also made us the last class to witness Tanya handing out slushies and pretzels to now having her count and make sure we didn't take any extra ketchup packets. Then we became the first 8th grade middle school graduates. And now we stand here in front of all the faculty, staff, and parents as we once again close the doors on our 3rd school and our 3rd graduation. After being here so long, you start becoming more accustomed to all the ins and outs of Hampton Bays High School. First off, no one knows how, or when, or why, but Hampton Bays will always think it's better than Southampton, and Southampton will always think it's better than Hampton Bays. Now, I'm sure either side could argue their point fully, just ask Mr. Pega. But let's just keep something in mind. This year, we were the ones with the Mayor's Cup. Next, people will love you so much more if you bring them food on your off periods. But if you bring them Katrinkas, that's when you become a god among men. And finally, whenever you need advice about anything, and I mean anything, everyone knows you go to the greatest security guard in Suffolk County, Mr. Joseph Gilroy. Now, don't get me wrong, this is all very valuable information. But something tells me once we leave, it's not going to apply out there in the real world. So this, I guess, would be the part where I give everyone some sort of advice on life after high school. But let's be real, I'm just as clueless as everyone else. I don't know what roadblocks you'll have to deal with, what obstacles you'll have to come, what people you'll have to deal with. But I do know this. You're all one of a kind. You're all put on this earth for a reason. And if someone thought you couldn't handle what you were doing, then you wouldn't be doing it. So. And I also know this. If you're not having fun and enjoying what you're doing, most of the time it isn't worth it. There's not a shred of evidence in favor of the idea that life is serious. Not too long ago, I was sitting at home when I received a phone call. Now, I honestly couldn't quite believe it myself, but on the other end of that phone call was a 94-year-old man from West Hampton Beach who attended Boston University 76 years ago. After seeing my name and attending college, he told me he couldn't resist trying to get in touch with me and just have a talk with me. And of everything he told me, one thing stood out the most. He told me, the only piece of advice I'm going to give you is this. Just live. These next couple of years are going to be a blast, so enjoy them. Here I was, listening to a man almost the same age as our district itself, and he summed it all up for us in just 2 little words. So go out into the world, try new things, meet new people, be happy. You can't even imagine the possibilities out there. But before we get to that, we got just under an hour before graduation is finally over. Graduation. It feels pretty bittersweet that it's actually here. For many, the feeling of being ready to graduate, that moment when you realize that it's actually happening, comes at all different times. For me, it was after my last basketball game. The last time I would walk in that court, the last time I would have Pega and me and yelling at me in my ear, the last time I would be wearing the same purple and white jersey that I have been for the past 4 years. For some, that moment isn't until they take their last test. For some walking into this tent, it's still hard to believe that this day is here, while we have some others who were ready to leave back in September when we entered the building for the first time. For the last time. There's a universal truth we all have to face, whether we want to or not. Everything eventually ends. As much as I've looked forward to this day, I've always disliked endings. The last days of summer, the final chapter of a great book, parting ways with a close friend. But endings aren't inevitable. Leaves fall, you close the book, you say goodbye. Today is one of those days for us. Today we say goodbye to everything that was familiar, everything that was comfortable. We're moving on. But just because we're leaving, and that hurts, there are some people who are so much a part of us, they'll be with us no matter what. They are our solid ground, our North Star, and the small, clear voices that will be with us always. Congratulations, class of 2013, we did it.
please accept this trophy on behalf of Hampton Bays High School for 4 years of outstanding academic performance and leadership. Congratulations.
Good morning. Congratulations to our special guests. Welcome to our family members, to the Board of Education, to this first class faculty and administration who sits behind me today. But again, not least of all, the most honored guests, the class of 2013. Congratulations. Congratulations to Seth, Jesse, and Harry for coming up here and delivering fantastic remarks. And thank you to Mr. Richard for being the buffer for the rest of us and shielding all of the jokes that are aimed at you. Graduates, we're so proud of you, every single one of us under this tent today. I'm proud to serve as your superintendent of schools, and I'm proud to preside over a commencement ceremony that honors so many young, talented men and women. And I'm proud to work in education. I hope that you're proud to be graduating today with a strong public education that is going to propel you right into the future that Harry and Jesse and Seth talked about. I'm also proud to work with those folks that are seated behind me today. And before I go on, I'd like to stop and recognize some particularly special ones. 2 adults on this stage will also graduate today and complete their final service as educators. Educators who influence the success under this tent of many of the graduates seated before us, and myself included. Will Ralph Hubbard and Val Stipe please stand? These 2 leave the tent with the graduates today, also throwing their caps in the air to signify an end and a beginning. And they join Peg Allen, Marianne Sharp, and Barbara Corrigan in their retirements, and I wish them each good luck in the next chapter of their lives, and thank them for more than 125 years of cumulative service to Hampton Bays that represent this graduating class of educators. Thank you. In addition, another face leaves this stage today. 6 years ago, Doug Oakland joined the school board, and for the last 5, he served as our president. In that time, we've completed the construction of the middle school. We've taken this graduating class, brought them here, brought them there, brought them back here, as we open those doors, as Harry pointed out. We've started the next evolution with the improvements that you're starting to see around the campuses today. Jesse, when you come back, they'll be ready for you all to play on and use on vacations. In that time, our graduation rates have climbed up and up. Our advanced placement courses offerings have doubled, and there are more clubs and sports for kids to excel in than ever before. Doug will be replaced on the board by Kevin Springer, who is also here today with us as trustee-elect, and we welcome his presence as well. I'd like to personally thank Doug for setting the bar high for the Hampton Bays schools, expecting greatness from our community and seeing that greatness through. We'd like to recognize him today with a small token of a grateful school district's appreciation for his service. I'd also like to take a moment and recognize some long-time and short-time Baymen who join us today as alumni, performing in the high school and alumni symphonic band. When Mrs. Halsey puts out the call in April to those alumni who still have Bayman pride, the results come flooding in. If you're a proud graduate of Hampton Bays in the band today, please stand and be recognized. Graduates, here you sit in this tent, ready to propel yourselves into that future. And it's no secret that the world you're entering needs some work. It needs ambition and it needs character. It needs commitment and it needs skill. It needs each one of you seated here today. Think about your lives and what you've seen in them already. As first graders, you experienced September 11th. You saw the beginning and the end of the Iraqi war, the escalation and now de-escalation of the war in Afghanistan. You've seen the destruction brought upon by Superstorm Sandy, the sadness of the Sandy Hook school community, the stress of a withered economy, and the devastation of tornadoes in the West. Yet you've also seen your school get stronger every day by opening its doors wider than ever before, by being a school that now welcomes pre-kindergarten students, a school with programs that take students who struggle and makes them succeed, opportunities for kids who love science and to invent, who excel in our fields or wow us on the stage. You've been part of a generation that dedicates more time to volunteerism than ever before, and you've been part of a time that's seen more breakthroughs in medicine than ever before. You've been part, in your time as kids, human rights around the world have been protected, defended, and expanded. Less people smoke cigarettes today, and more people embrace the green movement to save the earth. You were the first group of 8th graders in the greenest, newest school in New York State, so you should know that personally. And so you all were made of the chaos and melee in society, and you now exist in the image of all the good that has been accomplished over the last 18 years. This tent is filled with graduates who have been cast, formed, and ready to go. In a post-9/11 world, we have junior firefighters and ambulance corps men and women who sit as graduates today. In a post-Hurricane Sandy world, this tent has environmental studies majors in it. In a world where the arts are often threatened, we have graduates who are ready to dedicate their lives to music, music production, and worship. The breakthroughs in medicine today are nothing when compared to what our Baymen who are majoring in pediatrics, pre-med, and pre-dental will accomplish. Our economic challenges will be fixed by those headed to business school, and conflicts across the world will be resolved by those dedicating their lives to international relations, political science, and military service. The list of majors goes on, and each of them, every one of them, has a value in our society. So as we sat to prepare for today's graduation, I pondered the path that you're all about to head down. And you know what? I realized we don't need to worry about what that path is. They're all good. You're prepared. You all will be great. But that alone didn't sit well as enough. That couldn't be it, that each of you will be successful and each of you will be fine. And at that point, my hope for you on behalf of the school district became clear. My hope is that what you've seen and what you've done in your years at Hampton Bays will outline the map for what's to come. More than choosing any one major or any one career can ever do. You've been big brothers and big sisters. You've volunteered at our Red Cross hurricane shelters, plural. You've played sports. You've taken care of your own bodies and your own minds. You've pursued the arts and cultivated your culture. You've cheered for a cure. You've relayed for life. You've tutored, invented, and performed. You've taken care of our littlest Baymen, the 4-year-olds in the hallway behind you, and you've dedicated your time to senior citizens in our community. So I think this can be our greatest advice as a school district. We don't care what you're going to do in your future, because we know it's going to be great for you. We know it's going to be great for your families. What we care about and what we hope for is that you figure out some way to make that career, that major, that college experience do something good for someone else. There's an old saying that goes, we drink from wells that we did not dig. And there are those who have come before us that paved the way for us to come into this tent today. And that's now your responsibility, to pay it forward. So go on to college, go on to work, go on to serve in the military, and pay it forward. Make sure you leave the world and your relationships with one another better than you found them. And I know you can, because you've done that here in Hampton Bays. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just so proud of you today. We wish you good luck as you go on from Hampton Bays and propel yourselves into a future that needs you. Thank you.